Okay, don't get mad at me. But I got to ask you a question. Okay. How many of you have heard this advice before? Wake up early. Wake up before your kids. Get in the word. Get in prayer. Then start your day. And it sounds so good, right? You're like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is what a faith-filled woman does. I can do this. So you're like, yeah, I'm going to set my alarm for 6:15. And your kid wakes up at 6:16. And you're like, well, crap. Okay, well, let's try 6 o'clock. And then you're like, yeah. So the next day you set your alarm for 6 o'clock and your kid wakes up at 5:58. And you're laying there trying to read your Bible app without making a single sound. And I promise you, they can smell when you wake up. And suddenly, instead of starting your morning with God and feeling peaceful and like you could conquer the day, you're starting to get frustrated earlier than you wanted. And with a kid who is just excited to see you, but you're like, come on, I just want to talk to God. And somewhere along the way, you started to retreat because the advice didn't fit your life. And if nobody told you what to do instead and said, stop making excuses, well, today I'm going to tell you. Let's go. Are you a mom who has been struggling in your faith but not sure why? Are you wanting to grow closer to God but not sure where to start? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Ash, mom of 2, wife, and completely obsessed with Jesus. I grew up believing I was a good Christian until watching my child suffer led to my faith unraveling. It wasn't until 2 a.m. in my son's hospital bed that I went to God fully as myself that my faith transformed. If you are ready to have an authentic relationship with God and feel peace within your home, then grab that cozy blanket, open your Bible, and let's seek God together. Welcome to Faith-Filled Home. Hey, if you're new here, I just want you to go grab the BAM prayer framework at BeMightyMom.com/BAM. It's the prayer framework that I use with my kids who are 2 and 4. And honestly, I think it works just as good for me. So go grab it. I'm going to talk about it a couple of times. It's completely free and it makes so much sense by the end of this episode. Okay, so I went searching for what a faith routine was supposed to look like because I genuinely didn't know, right? Nobody in my house growing up modeled one. And when I started looking, it was just everywhere. Wake up early, before the kids, quiet time, get in the word, get in prayer, start from a full place, no excuses, wake up early, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted that. I really did. I've tried many times. Many times I set my alarm early, tried to be quiet, tried to just get even 15 minutes before the day started. And every single time, my husband can attest to this. There they were. Sometimes I wouldn't even get out of bed. I'd just be laying there reading my Bible app like this, like scrolling through it in the dark. And somehow they knew. And I don't know how a sleeping toddler senses that their mother is conscious, but I am telling you, they do. And here's what started happening that I didn't expect. I started getting frustrated, right? Not at the advice at first, because I'll get there, but at my kids who were just excited to see me, my kids who just wanted to be near me. They woke up and they're like, the first thing out of their minds, I want to go see my mom. And that's what they go do. How in the world could I ever be frustrated at that? Oh, and I'd be sitting there. I can't open my Bible. I can't pray. I can't talk to God. I can't do the things I'm supposed to do. And everyone's telling me I can't make excuses. But what is this? Do I wake up at 4:45? What do I do? While my boys were right there just happy that I existed. That convicted me hard when I finally noticed it. I could cry about it. I still feel so guilty about it. Because I kept trying. I tried waking up earlier and earlier. I tried different spots in the house. And every time it did not work. I felt like something was wrong with me. Like I didn't want it badly enough. Like I wasn't committed enough to my faith. Because people would say, no excuses, wake up early. No excuses, wake up early. And I think, but my kids are right there. That's not an excuse. That's just my life. And then I stopped. Not on purpose. I just retreated. I didn't have a choice because I didn't know what else to do. And what came out of that retreat eventually was something I did not see coming. I stopped trying to build my faith life around my boys and I started building it with them. Like, do I still have alone time with God? Yes, that is necessary. But it's not always in the morning. It's when I can find it. After they're asleep. And thankfully, my wonderful husband has a standing block on his calendar, Friday mornings, so I can get that time with God while my kids eat breakfast. Because at the end of the day, God called me to be their mom. And if they wake up at 6:15, that's my calling walking into the room. God sees my life. He knows my heart. And what he's asking from me isn't to find a way to have faith in spite of my kids. It's to bring them into it. So the advice is not wrong, because if you are able to wake up and read the Bible and get into the Word and pray, cool. Because the advice is not wrong. It's just not my life. The wake up before the kids advice works for some people. It genuinely does. But it was built for a different family dynamic than mine, and probably yours, especially if you have young kids. And I have young kids that have medical complications and neurodivergence. And when advice that works for someone else doesn't work for your actual life and they're telling you no excuses, that's not a failure. That's just a mismatch. And honestly, that's where discernment comes in too, because they might have really good advice somewhere else. It's just our lives are different and we need to accept that and not just say no excuses. You know what? Sometimes there's excuses, okay? I don't even think it's an excuse. It's just life, right? That's just how life is. When you can't make the advice work, you don't usually think that advice wasn't for me, especially if someone's telling you no excuses. You think there's something wrong with you. And that shame is what makes you retreat. It's not that you don't want God, because you do. It's that you kept failing at the method and started believing the method was the faith. But it's not. So give yourself actual permission to let go of the version that isn't working. It's not as an excuse, as discernment. Because your faith life has to fit inside your real life or it won't survive. And I realize people are probably like, wait, shouldn't your life fit into your faith life? Listen, when you're a mom, right? Your calling is to be their mom, and you are modeling faith for them. How are they going to model if you wake up early and they don't see it? When your routine makes you frustrated at your kids, something's off. So that's the check. If your faith practice is regularly making you feel annoyed at your children for existing and for wanting you, for waking up, for needing you, for being awake at the same time you're awake, that's worth paying attention to. Because God called you to be their mom. That's not something you do when you're done with your God time. That is your God time. A lot of the time, right? Like it just is. Deuteronomy 6 says faith gets passed in the walking around moments. When you sit, when you rise, when you walk along the road, that's not morning quiet time. That's your whole day. Your kids showing up at 6:15 isn't interrupting your calling. They are the calling. So just ask yourself honestly, is the way I'm trying to do this making me more present with God and my family? Or is it creating tension between them? Because those two things should not be in competition. This is when you can build faith with your kids and what that actually looks like. It's not complicated. It's just different from what you were told, right? It's inviting your kids into the ordinary faith moments instead of trying to have those moments without them. It's praying out loud when something hard happens. It's reading a verse at breakfast. It's doing BAM before bed. It's letting them see you reach for God in real time instead of doing it in private and showing them the polished result later. Seeking God doesn't require solitude, right? It doesn't. You seek God. You can be honest with God in front of your kids. In fact, that might be the most powerful thing they ever watch you do, because they're not going to catch a perfect faith from you. They're going to catch a real one. And real is what lasts. They won't be worried about performance, right? Like a lot of us were taught to perform, or that's all we saw was the performed perfect prayers. This is exactly why I created BAM. The 3-step prayer framework that is simple enough to do with your kids. It's short enough to fit into the chaos of a real morning and honest enough to be actually seeking and not just part of a routine, right? BAM. If you're new here, it's BAM. Be honest with God. Ask God. Magnify God. 3 minutes. That's it. It's not to rush prayer. It's to make sure you do it and do it. Right? There are longer frameworks and, reciting prayers we could do, but This is how you teach your kids. You can do it at breakfast. You can do it in the car. You can do it at 6:15 when everybody wakes up at the same time and you're awake anyway. The routine you were given wasn't built for your family. That doesn't mean you're failing at faith. It means you needed a different on-ramp. Stop trying to have faith around your kids and start having it with them. They don't need to have a perfect morning quiet time. Neither do you. They need to see you reach for God in the middle of real life. And real life is happening at 6:15 a.m. whether you plan for it or not. If you tried the wake up early thing and gave up, I want you to hear this because I did it. I literally did it so many times. Ugh, so many times. You didn't give up on God. You didn't. You gave up on a method. And there's a different method you could do. The faith-filled home. The thirst you have for something real in your faith, you still have it. You're here, right? You're listening to this. Your kids waking up with you is not the obstacle. It might be an invitation. Because when I started adding my kids to my faith experience and my journey with God and in prayer, instead of just trying to wake up early, my entire life changed, and so did my household. And that's when I became closer to God and my kids than ever before.
Goodbye.
I hope this episode helped you feel closer to God and recharged in your faith. I pray it validated and healed you in ways you didn't think were possible. If it did, would you share this episode with another mom who needs it? It would mean the world to me too if you would leave a review. Talk to you soon, friend. Now, go be mighty, Mom.